Welcome to Chemical Guy's Detail Garage. If you've been following along with our refresh detail on this Tesla, you saw in our first video that Henry washed it using Clean Slate, and that removes the layers of glaze, sealant, and wax, as well as any fillers that may be hiding any micro scratches and swirls. And in today's video, we're going to show you how to properly decontaminate it even further and also remove those scratches and swirls to achieve an ultimate shine. Our first step is to use the clay bar, which is going to extract embedded contaminants or anything else that could be hiding in the pores of the paint. Now in the last video, Henry washed it with Clean Slate and that removes all those old layers, but to thoroughly remove anything that's stuck in the pores of the paint, we need a clay bar. So today we've chosen the OG, which is great for your routinely detailed vehicles as well as cars that get detailed maybe once a year. And what it is it uses this sticky substance that helps to remove the contamination that gets stuck in your paintwork, your glass, your chrome. And I've already made a mess of this. And we'll just start by tearing off a small piece and kneading it up into a patty that covers about 3 fingers. This way we can have control and maneuverability. And then using our Clay Luber, we'll lubricate the surface as well as the bar, and we'll spray our hands so it doesn't stick to the gloves. But this is a necessary step to ensure that we've removed all kinds of filth and grime that could potentially mar the surface as we polish, but also you wouldn't want to lock any kind of contamination in the paintwork once we do our coating process. And since this vehicle is fairly large, to expedite the process, we're going to bring Alex in to help us do the entire clay bar process and also the polishing process. So working in linear motions helps to ensure that we're not missing any areas, and also we're removing it in a uniform fashion. But you see that the Clay Luber is not only lubricating the surface to prevent marring, but it's also cleaning the surface, because a lot of guys ask, is it necessary to wash the vehicle after doing the clay bar process? And in fact, all you need to do is simply wipe it off. You can use wipeout or some type of surface prep spray to ensure that the surface is totally clean. But before the polishing process, you need to do this just to ensure that you're not marring it or causing any kind of contamination to stick to your pad. And now we're going to move on to our next step of paint correction. So today we've chosen to go with our Torque 15 D8, and that means it is a 15mm throw. And if you're new to the channel or new to polishing, what that means is that's the offset of how far that pad is going to throw from each side, about 15mm. And on a dual action, that means it's going to rotate on one axis and also around that same circular motion. 2 motions, which is going to help reduce heat, which is also going to be a great way to not only hold your polishing skills, but safely remove scratches and swirls from any gloss color vehicle. Now we've already set it up with our orange Hexalogic pad, which is perfect for your light cuts and medium polishing, meaning it doesn't have those deep scratches and swirls, and it's not neglected where it has a lot of water spots, but just the same stuff that you get in your daily driver. And we're going to show you how to properly remove all that using V36. So we begin by shaping up the bottle, and we'll start off on the hood, but we'll use the same process over the entire vehicle. Just add a few dots to our polishing pad. About 5 dime-sized dots, or about the size of one of the hexes on the pad. And we'll also use pad conditioner to help give us the proper work time, as well as add some longevity to our pads, because this is going to help reduce a lot of that heat. Just a few mists. And this is a great time to talk about pad conditioner, because a lot of you guys do ask us, how often do you use it, or is it necessary to use it? And it's the best way to help add longevity to your pads. Also, this is going to reduce any kind of dusting. But this is something you should apply on the first few panels and then as needed to make sure that the pad stays moist. And this is going to prevent any excess heat. And we're going to work in about a 2 foot by 2 foot section. We'll just spread this out in the lowest speed setting, which will be speed setting 1 on our Torque 15 D8, and then use the highest speed setting to actually break down and polish. This way we can really work it in until it goes clear or translucent, then we can buff it off and check our work. And also, you want to be mindful of the angle that you're putting on the pad. An excess angle can cause heat or it can stall the pad, which would mean you're not actually polishing. It can actually cause holograms. So a couple things to keep in mind is to one, obviously not apply too much pressure, which is why we've drawn these lines on the backing plate, but you can also watch these vents here. This is going to ensure that the pad is constantly moving, and if you're applying too much pressure, it'll stall the pad, which means that the pad won't be moving. The machine has a built-in feature where it'll just vibrate, but unfortunately that's not doing any polishing. So what you want to keep in mind is that you're using about the weight of your hand and the machine, but also make sure that the pad is constantly spinning. And also keep in mind the side-to-side angle, because too much angle on one side will also stall the pad, but can also cause marring. So keeping it perfectly flat and perpendicular with the surface that you're working on is going to allow the pad to oscillate and also thoroughly break down that polish, giving you the best results. And there you have it, guys. You see, just after 3 passes that V36 is done basically clear, and now we can take our microfiber towel, wipe up any of the spent product, and check our work. But V36 doesn't contain any kind of oils or fillers, so the results that you're getting are going to be true, which means that you're actually removing a very fine layer of that clear coat to refine those scratches and swirls. And this is the way it's going to stay as long as proper care is taken, such as the way you're touching the vehicle, working in linear motions, and also being aware of anything that's abrasive on the surface so you're not grinding it into the paintwork, which will cause scratches and swirls. Now also, you saw that we're working in a cross-hatching pattern, covering about 50% of our last pass, just like you would if you were, say, cutting a lawn. This is going to ensure that you're getting even results. And there you have it, guys. You see just how simple it can be to perform a one-step polish on your own vehicle to remove those scratches and swirls. Keep in mind the amount of angle that you're applying to the pad, because again, excess angle causes excess heat, or it'll stall the pad again, which will not be giving you any kind of true finish or won't be polishing. It's just a basic waste of time. But when you're working on a vehicle, you want to keep in mind how many angles or body lines that you're working with. So you can break it up into sections, such as the flat panels first and then work the body lines, or use a smaller pad to get into those intricate areas. It always helps to have a helping hand, which is why I'm glad that Alex was here today to help us with the polishing process. And we got this vehicle done, and we're going to continue working on this vehicle in our next video, where Joey's going to show you guys how to properly lock in that shine and also repel any kind of harsh elements. So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you guys liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to drop your comments down below for any future videos. And also, if you want to check out any of the products you've seen us use today, head over to our website, chemicalguys.com, or to your local detail garage, and we'll see you guys next time.